Now, I'm a fan of roller coasters, but even I'm a little overwhelmed by how hard it was to actually get this video out. Hello, hi, my name is Pongo, and this video has been the wildest ride, and it all started when I forgot to save my progress. I'll, explain that some more in a minute, but I'd like to actually get to the topic of why I wanted to make this video, and not have it all be occupied by complaining about what happened. This is my first real full-length video, and I'd like to spend it sort of explaining what my plans are with this channel, what I'd like to do, especially this whole new year, the new year, and plans that I have for my art going forward. And I don't know why I'm a bit nervous to create this video. Maybe it's the simple fact that I've never made a full-length video before. I know I'm capable of rambling for 25 minutes, but that's not to say that it's easy to organize all of my thoughts into one video and easily talk about the things that I'd like to do. But I suppose I shall give it a try. So I hope you enjoy tuning in and listening to what I have to say. You are totally asking, Pongo, what sorts of things will you post? What can we expect from your channel? And I guess I'll give you the answer. Okay, so when it comes to my channel, you can definitely expect lots of art from me, character designing. I love designing characters. I'm not even going to get into that because that tangent will take 2 hours and I only have 25 minutes. So, I would also I think I'd like to share my process with learning new things this year because I'm going to spend the next few months really fine-tuning a lot of my art skills. I'm not a bad artist, I'm not a beginner, but there are a lot of things that I can still get better at, and at any stage of art, you're always going to have things you can improve on. So I'd like to spend some time doing that, and I think a lot of what I'd like to focus on would have to be drawing different body types, getting better at skin tones. I've been improving on those the past year, but I want to actually focus on them some more. I'd like to get good at environmental art, drawing more creatures. I used to draw a lot of animals in the past, but I've really disconnected from that recently, and I'd like to do some more of that, especially dragons. I'd love to draw some dragons. This, of course, does not mean that I will be abandoning my main work, and if you've been around for any time at all, then you know that that's my graphic novel, Armies and Elves. While there is still a lot of work to do with it, I think I'm at a stage now where there's not much I can really share in video format, so I'll keep everyone updated on that as much as I can. I'll definitely share concept art and artworks like what you're seeing now, where I'm just drawing the characters and having fun with just the illustrations, but I have been prioritizing Armies and Elves a lot the past few years, especially the last year while I had so much concept art to do. And while there's still a lot of work to do, I noticed a problem with it. I was getting carried away with my work. I was prioritizing it over everything. I wasn't hanging out with friends very much, not even family. And I really pride myself on my family, like in the way that I want to spend more time with them. And while I'm taking on this work with YouTube and creating full-length videos, I know that that's not going to take my time away from people as long as I do it right. So I'd like to really just back off from all of the heavy work this year and spend some more time focusing on things out of Armies and Elves, if that makes sense. I love the work that I have to do for it. It's my passion. It's my magnum opus. But I also really love just creating normal illustrations and artwork, and being consumed in concept art is something that I can't afford to keep doing, especially when it takes me away from family. So I'm going to be working hard on that, and yeah. But mild tangent aside, that does bring me to the other topic that I wanted to discuss during this video. If you're an artist who's been working really hard for a while, and maybe, I don't know, you're focusing on something specific, like how I have with my concept art. It's been all that I have done for the past year. There's been a few other illustrations, but the problem is that I can count them on both of my hands. And I can't count my concept art on both of my hands. I've done way more concept art than anything else. It's consumed me. And if you're an artist who's ever faced that sort of problem where you have so much of one thing to work on that you never have time for the other, then you'll probably relate to this. But yeah, my plan is to stop with all of that. Not, of course, put it to a full stop, but I would like to stop completely focusing on it. It's been overwhelming. It's been slowing down my progress with my art. And I know that it slowed me down because one sit down of focusing on what I really want out of an illustration completely evolved my art. Whenever I made the illustration that you're watching in this video, I hadn't done something like this before. I hadn't done the type of lighting that you'll see later. Even this type of line art is a bit new to me, but I wanted something new. I wanted what was in my head that I'd never spent the time on before. So I did it. I just sat down and I did it. And ever since I created this, every single one of my sketches after this have completely upgraded. It's like I leveled up, all because I sat down and said, I'm going to focus. I'm going to actually create what's fun. And I did. And it's kind of disappointing almost in a way, because I know that I could have added so much artwork to my portfolio that was completely new and amazing to me if I had just spent the time to do what I did whenever I created this one. And yeah, but it doesn't matter that I didn't do it before because I'm doing it now. And that's the point of art, is to really just escape. It shouldn't feel like a constant job. Even if you're kind of enjoying that job, it shouldn't feel like it's not what it started as anymore. Like it's not your hobby. Even if it's turned into a job anyways, it should still feel fun. That's my opinion anyways. I want to always enjoy the art that I make. And if I'm not enjoying it, then I don't want to make it. I don't know. It's really hard to explain what my thought process is right now. This video is not scripted. I'm kind of just going for it. So I'm sorry if there's a lot of pauses and back and forths and confusion with my own words. But my point is, there's an entire world of art inside of my head, and it's been building up for the past probably 3 years, if I'm going to be completely honest. 3 years that I have not focused on creating art that I really enjoy, just making my imagination come to life. Sure, my graphic novel, you could argue, is work to make my imagination come to life, and it is, and I'm excited to get that done. But it's going to be years still before that's completely out. I have time, and I don't want to spend all of that time feeling like a workaholic. I'd like to keep from letting it stress me out, so I'd like to work on some other projects. Maybe like balance out completely everything that I work on. Armies and Elves is still going to be at the front line of everything that I work on, because it is very important to me and the entire story. I've been working on this thing for, I think, 5 years now. I haven't gone back and done the math in a bit, but it's been at least 5 years. It's very important to me, but it can be draining at times. So while I'd like to still work on it, I'm going to work on other projects, like one that I haven't fully named yet, but for now I've just been calling it Leviathan Kids, where it's about these 2 little boys that are part dragon, and they're raised by dragons, but the dragons aren't their parents. Who knows why they're actually part dragon? But things like that are so out of the ordinary that I haven't fully thought out yet, that are really fun to think about and really cute, honestly. And I want to spend more time on that. I want to spend more time on the cyborg characters that I have that I've never actually drawn. Like, I think I've sketched them a few times, but I've never gotten around to drawing cyborgs. Cyborgs sound really fun to draw, so I don't know about you, but I'd like to get some of that out. And ideas that I've had, like redesigning cartoon characters, like characters from like the movie Bolt, like the kids movie Bolt, where it's that dog with like the lightning and everything on him, if you're unfamiliar with it. But I want to redesign that because it's a really cute and important movie to me. Redesign that as like human characters, things that I enjoy creating, and kind of touch up on it. There's a whole trend, well, it's not like a popular trend, but there's a little bit of a trend of artists doing that. And I'd like to hop on it because I love designing things. Like I said earlier, designing characters. We cannot get into that because I will talk for hours. But outside of all of that, I should probably get into explaining who in the world this character is that you're watching me draw right now. I've briefly mentioned him, but I should probably actually explain it. So in this video, I'm actually working on a younger, like, child version of the main character of my graphic novel, Armies and Elves, the one that I keep on mentioning. His name is Abner Bell Rose. And while I was working on this illustration of him, that took me 7 hours, which was a pretty much a world record for me whenever it comes to fully rendered pieces like the one that I'm working on here. My gosh, I forgot to save my progress. I forgot to save my progress. I finished the whole thing. I had it done. I am actively facepalming while doing this, and this video has taken me almost a month to complete to actually get to this point in the voiceover. So I'm facepalming weeks after I have finished this illustration because it was that bad of a situation. I'm honestly proud of myself because even though I, to also be honest, had a full mental breakdown after my file crashed and I realized that I hadn't saved my entire rendering process, I still decided to redo it. I had the line art, I had the flat colors, that was the point I had last saved at. But I didn't have the entire render, but I still decided to go back and re-render the entire thing. And it took me an extra 5 or 6 hours. So that wasn't fun, but it's fine. I don't think it came out as great as what it did the first time. So what you're watching me work on, especially once I get to that render process, just know that you're watching something that you cannot see an image of. Because I, for some reason, decided just not to make any saves while I was recording. What really bothers me about the whole thing probably isn't even that I had to redo the rendering process of his skin and his hair and lighting and everything like that, and that I had to redraw the hand. No, I'm actually glad, with the hand at least, and some of the way I did the skin, I'm glad that I redid that because it came out better, I think. But there were parts of it that I didn't even record myself working on. Tiny little specks of details that I decided to stop recording at one point. I was like, you know what, I'm going to stop recording right here, and I'm going to finish the entire thing off camera, and then it's going to be this grand reveal of what it looks like. And then I didn't save. So I actually don't even have recording or proof that I got all the fancy stuff done. It was my best artwork ever. My best artwork to start the whole year with. And I don't even have proof of how hard I worked on it. But I did a whole background for it. And I redid that background, but it will never be like the background I first did. I have never created a more detailed and beautiful background in my life. Except for the one time that I decide not to make a save. But let's move on from the complaining about what happened because I want to pretend it never happened. Quite honestly, I would like to act like I never had to redo all of that. There was no problem that happened. I didn't run into any problems making this video. It was totally smooth sailing, I tell you, smooth sailing. Got this video out within a week. I didn't. Oh, it's been such a long month. So, because it took me much longer than the start of the year to get this video out, which I know we're still in the start of the year. It's the first month, or at least right now as I'm recording this, we're still in January. How have you guys' start of your year been so far? How's the year been so far? Even though I missed out on asking this in the beginning, I was going to ask what everyone's plans for the year were, which still I would love to see some comments about what your plans are with the year. But the ball was thrown and I didn't catch it, so if you've made it this far into the video, honestly, thank you for watching, and I'm so glad that you must be enjoying it so far, and I hope that you stay until the end because, I have so much more to talk about. Well, not a lot more, but I'd like to talk about Abner some more, and if you're thinking of subscribing to my channel, then it would be great if you listened to who Abner is, because he's a big part of my channel. He's gonna come up in topics a lot, because his story, Armies and Elves, as I said before, is kind of like my magnum opus. I'm gonna be working on it for years, and if you've stayed this long, I would just love if you would keep on listening. So Abner, the main character of my graphic novel, Armies and Elves, is actually much older than what I've depicted him here in this illustration. I just felt like drawing something cute, so I drew him as a little kid. I'm also considering doing a little bit of a series where I draw all of the main characters of the story as little kids, like what I did here, but we'll talk more about them later. Right now, I want to talk about Abner. So, Abner's a little bit of a special case. I've never fully known what one title to call him, because the thing is, he's a doctor. He's the best doctor in all of Caridia, the world that he lives in. But he's also a scientist, sort of. He studies medicine, and he uses that medicine however he can for the health of the other elves. You see, in Caridia, there's not actually much study on medicine or how to use it, how to help with illness. And this is because there are other elves called the nature elves, which have natural healing powers. They can use those powers to help heal other elves, and they're usually hired for things like armies and helping knights and all. But the thing is, there's a limit to what those powers can do whenever it comes to healing people. Like extremely fatal wounds, their powers can't easily heal those. In fact, outside of wounds, the nature elves' powers can't heal illness. Not unless it's some common cold, and even then, their powers aren't great for that. The point is, their powers have limits, and Abner Belrose, Dr. Belrose, is tired of those limits. So Abner has decided that when he becomes an adult, he will leave home and start to study the world. He will start to study plants and animals. He'll write down everything that he learns so that way he can figure out how to heal illness, because it's really become a big problem for the elves. But that's not necessarily the point of Abner's story. The point of these books that I'm creating is to tell the story of how a doctor, whose only plan was to be a doctor and study medicine, has somehow found himself in the midst of a war, where he meets the man responsible for the war, a man who is wanted in several countries all across the world of Caridia. A man by the name of Ravafine. But that's going to have to be all for now. I will explain more of that story in another video because I just don't have the time right now. But before I move on to the actual outro of this video, I would like to give a huge thank you to Moonlit Scribbles, or Scribbled Scrabbles, for the fan art that they made for me while I was working on this video. It has really boosted my morale, and it made me feel really special, and the way that she drew Grace, my mascot, and Benji, my little star creature, is absolutely adorable, and I could not be more thankful or thrilled to have gotten a notification from that sort of thing. So thank you for that so much. I hope you see this part of the video. I'm honestly so thankful. I can't say it enough. I'm also really thankful in general for all of the new subscribers that have joined me this past month. While I've been uploading my TikTok videos to my YouTube shorts, it's been awesome to see a few new faces join in and to see recurring ones in the comments. It's really cool. You guys have been sweet already, and I hope I can keep bringing joy to the people that find my videos and subscribe to them, and I hope that you guys like my longer form of content, because so far I'm liking it, even though it is a little bit of a struggle to come up with so many words to say to fill in the time of a video. So I respect the YouTubers that do it all the time, every day, honestly. Also, before this video ends, please look at the artwork that I'm working on here. Look at all of the shadows and the lighting that you'll see in a moment, because I worked so hard on this, and like I said before, all of my progress got scrapped, and that's my fault. I forgot to make a save. That is completely my fault. It's not even the fault of the program. Yes, the program crashed, but I have a feeling that it probably just had to do with my bad quality computer, so it still is my fault that I didn't make any saves, just in case that were to happen. But I'm so proud of it, even though I can't see the completed version of what I did that first try, whenever it only took me like 7 hours, and now it's like, 13 hours of work that I had put into it, just because I forgot to save. But I hope that you really like the artwork that you see me working on here, and I will show an image of what I actually did redo in just a second here. I worked so hard on it, and the new version is, it is cool. Some parts of it are better, but I want you guys to appreciate what I worked on, please. It was so hard. It took so long, and I'm so proud of it, even though it was a whole roller coaster. Oh, and I would also like to let you know that at the very end of this video, there will be a segment for bloopers where you can listen to the mess-ups that I had. There wasn't a lot, there's a few of them, but I want to try and make a habit of this with all of my videos because I did it once on my TikTok a couple of months ago, I don't know how long ago, but I showed my bloopers and some of you thought it was kind of funny, so maybe I'll keep on doing that in every single one of my videos because it is kind of funny for me to look back on as well. And, here's another shameful plug real quick, I guess, but look at me rendering his eyes. His eyes, I spent so much work on them. I so much time, and they came out so pretty. So, just look at those eyes. Look how cute he is. We just take a moment of silence for how cute Abner is as a child. Thank you. And those eyes are gone to the void now because I forgot to make a save. But anyways, before we move on to the bloopers, that's all for today. If you liked this video and want to see more of my content, hear more of my rambles, consider pressing that subscribe button and hitting the notification bell so you can stay up to date with my latest posts. I hope you have a good day or night wherever you are. God bless. Enjoy those bloopers. You have totally just asked, Pongo, he is the, he... Now you're totally sitting back and asking, Pongo, what sorts of things will you post? What can we expect of your channel? Who are you? Now you're totally sitting back and wondering, Pongo, oh my gosh. Now you're totally sitting back and asking, Pongo, who are you? Oh my gosh. Now you are totally sitting back and asking, Pongo, now you are totally sitting. Oh my gosh. Now, Pongo, you are I can't. Oh my gosh. But anyways, before we make it.